Man, we got a Frena party going on here. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today, I got a video on a quick and easy guide on the best way to unlock Keelan, the new operator with Season 2. Now, this can only be done in the Void Vessel operations. You can do it in normal or you can do it in hard. My suggestion would just go ahead and do it in hard. It's not that difficult. The rewards from normal aren't quite as good, the percentages and the chances. And yes, you can get it done faster and it's not as difficult. But to be honest with you, even through Publix, which is what I did all of mine through, it wasn't that difficult to get through the hard mode content. So, looking at the hard mode rewards, they're based off of that time remaining, which is how long you have after you've killed the boss on the timer. And if you look at the rewards here, there's different levels of boxes. Each one of them has a different percentage for each of the four components. And each box, one of them will be 15%, the other ones are or whatever. So you're looking at that, you'd think, hey, well, I'll just pick that reward, gives me a 50% shot. But the problem is you're not looking at what you're not going to get if you don't get the thing you want. And that's really where they get you.
You stare at him, and he just stares right back. And that's when the attack comes, not from the front, but from the side.
Now, my advice is that you should always do the intact data vault. It's the best rewards. It's got the highest percentage for each component. And especially starting out before you've made any runs, this is going to give you the best shot at getting any one of the four items you need in order to start crafting or building Keelan. Now, this, of course, is dependent on getting this mission done with 2 minutes left on the clock at the end. Now, the timer doesn't start until the boss fight begins, and you can actually extend the amount of time you have at the boss fight by collecting these little comm devices throughout the mission. They're pretty easy to see. You won't miss them. They do show up on the map like you saw there. And in hard mode, there's going to be 10 of them. And even if you don't quite get all of them, it'll still be okay as long as you've got, maybe 7 or 8 or so. But let's take a look at what these rewards actually are giving out. Now, down here, the very base reward with no time left over, yeah, you got 15% on your enhanced cells, but you're looking at 73% to get 100k gold. Whereas you've got a 10% chance for enhanced cells on the big reward, but it's only 46% chance for gold. And the percentages on your stabilizer, your spiral, catalyst, and your code itself, they're all higher with that higher tier reward. So you also gotta look at what are you gonna get on that base reward if you don't get that 15% item? Well, you're going to get gold. And trust me, even doing the higher rewards, sometimes you get gold. But take a look at what you're not going to get if you don't get what you want. And when you look here, you'll see this, these are 15% for the stabilizer blueprint, but it drops it from 5 to 4, 3% on the enhanced cells. So the other numbers are definitely going down, but they're much lower than what they would be if you just take that intact data reward. 8%, 6% is not really that good, but that 10 and 15, those are doable. I can deal with a 10% or a 15% drop rate, but the two in the center there, the stabilizer and the spiral catalyst, you're going to need a little help with those. 6 and 8% is not good. So what you can do is if you go over here to your access info, go down to the Descendant, scroll down till you see Keelan, you can select these blueprints as a targeted reward, which means if you don't get it when you make a run at this, it slowly fills up a progress bar. Like you'll see here, I click this and it says now the target is registered. When I drop out, you'll see right here that now I'm tracking this. It says 0%. Every time I go in and do this mission and don't get this reward, it's going to add a little bit of a bonus there to help me get that reward as a drop. I don't know exactly how it works, whether it looks at this first, then the regular reward, or if it just makes the regular reward more. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that it'll make it easier for you to get something that you haven't been able to get. Even if you get a part that you need, but it wasn't the one you were tracking, that still is going to be considered a failed reward. And it'll add percentage points to that so that it makes it easier in the future for you to get that reward that you're specifically tracking. So it's kind of a win-win situation there, especially with using that large vault, the intact data vault, as your reward constantly. Now, I want to give you just a couple of pro tips here to help get through these missions a little better. You're going to notice here, and I'm going to stop it, There's a guy, a bad guy in front of me, right up there in the middle, and he spawned. You see those two little yellow beams? He's actually providing shields to the guys on the other end of that beam. If you shoot their shield down, he'll put it right back up. So if you see those big bars going from one guy to another, you want to shoot the guy who's providing the shield. And there you'll see I do it there, and then here, and now there's no more shields left. So always look for those lines and target the guy that has multiples coming out of him. He's all the way in the back in this clip, and it's a little hard with them kind of charging towards me, but still, it helps. The shields are, I think, the hardest part about all this. So just a little tidbit there. Second thing I want to talk to you about is materials. You're going to have kind of that inclination that I got to pick up everything. I got to use these keys that I'm getting. Every time you finish one of these missions, you'll get a decryption key. But honestly, target what you're looking for. If you're looking for Keelan, then you want to go with the broken boxes. You don't even have to use a key for that. If you're trying to get the dog, then you're going to want these experimental material boxes. And then if you just need materials to make your dog stronger, then you're going to want to go with the specialized materials and also the genetic ones. So that's just a couple pro tips there for you. I'm not going to go into this boss fight. You'll have to look up that someplace else. But that's my advice to you. Don't get too focused on the fact that, hey, it's a 15% chance, because it's also a 73% chance of gold. And you're going to do a whole lot of runs. Sometimes these take 5 minutes, sometimes they take 15. And it kind of just burns you out on it. So my advice, always go hard mode. Always try to finish with the 2 minutes remaining. And always take that intact data vault as your reward. And use that targeting reward system to try to fine tune it a little bit and tag the items that you're still trying to search for. But that's going to end it here, guys. I hope this helps out. Took me a couple hours to get this. Not going to lie. And, keep in mind, we are talking about RNG. So there are people out there who are going to do this run and run it 4 times and get all 4 pieces and laugh all the way to the Magisters. I'm not that lucky. I hope you are. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy the content. And as always, I'll see you out there. Take care.